Hi everyone, it's Adrienne Leah. I mainly wanted to talk about my spinning, but I'll bring up other projects that I am working on and that I will cast on. So towards the end of the video, I'll just show some decks that I've been using lately if you're interested in hearing about those things. So I am going to receive some bobbins for my Pippi spinning wheel. I ordered custom 3D printed bobbins, which is really exciting. I have some bobbins already, but I have two right now, and I wanted two more, at least a third one, so I could more comfortably apply it. And I figured since they aren't too expensive that I would get two. And I am not trying to buy too much things and trying to buy them when I will use them in or have a plan to use them for something specific, because I am going to have to move the things. So I also went to my friend's house or farm too. So I got some fiber from her, and she is busy a lot of the time. So when she says that she's available, I immediately drive over there and see all the animals. I met her new horses, which were really sweet. I love seeing her dogs and all the animals. It's so fun. We talk about fiber and such. So she is going to be out of country soon. So I'm so happy that I was able to meet up with her before she left. So the fiber that I'm spinning is from her. She gave me extra, which is really sweet. So on my EO Mini, my electric e-spinner, or my e-spinner, I am spinning the alpaca merino comb top, and then I also got some Falklands from her. I love feeling the different fibers to see if there's something that I would like to spin with. So I brought out my Eel Mini, and I'm super pleased with how it has come along. I will spin more fiber up and then I'll apply it. So the book that I'm using is one that keeps the spinner in place, but it's the Seed of Yggdrasil, and um it's one of my prized books because it is by Maria, and she has a YouTube channel. I've been watching her for years, and she talks about the Norse mythology and how it connects it and relates to um, the modern day with the text and the translations. And she has a college thesis that she also published too. I got this one. I really love her videos and her perspectives, and they just make you want to think and read and to translate and to understand. It's so interesting the things that they had back in the day and how these messages are still relatable to the modern person. I'll have to press a button on my dryer because it'll keep beeping. And I chose this book because it feels like it links to the traditional practices that I like to do. And I I feel like I'm using the book in different ways. I do really love it. So it is more of an appreciation and of having the book out. So hopefully it translates that way because I don't want it to translate into me not liking the book. So for the fiber, I got about 5 ounces of the alpaca merino, and for the Falkland, I got 8 ounces. And so I felt like the Falkland in this shade would be super useful for me because I use a lot of creams and beiges for my color work. And I do love using like the pepper or the charcoal type of shades. This was more from her personal stash. So I was super grateful that she did let me have some of that. I am going to cast on a pair of mittens. So where I keep patterns that I carry around when I go out to knit. So the mittens or the fingerless gloves that I'm making are the Hema designed by Anise Sang. So fingerless mittens featuring 3 distinctive colorwork techniques for a quick yet engaging project, inspired by raw wool feeling of home and comforting joy of returning to a place of belonging. As soon as I saw these gloves, I was so drawn to them, and I knew that I wanted to knit them at some point. I saw them on Yana of Ketsy Knits, and she is a Finnish YouTuber. She does all the fiber things. She has a yarn shop. She knits, spins, crochets. She dyes her own yarn. So, uh, for these gloves, it's in one of her video thumbnails, and she used a gray or like a charcoal with a it, it was on the darker side, and then the contrast color like a light maybe gray tone. Sorry, so like a charcoal and a gray. And I just love mittens. I would say I love to knit them. It's like when people like knitting socks. And the colors that I'm going to use, I already used this in my Skiing with the Moose test knit cardigan. So this is the Asian tweed, and then for Valentine's Day I bought myself another sale one because these were on sale, and the shop still had some left over of I took all the blue, but then there was one of the yellow color way. So I love these colorways, and I'll cast on tonight. I do have other plans for mittens. So I also wanted to make these mittens again, but I wanted to make them the one that's open, so essentially the fingerless glove version of this. So I would it, adjust the chart, and I have these other skeins of yarn. I got them, they were part of a gift. And so I have these that I received in a gift. And since I have two of the yellow and one of the blue, I'll make the yellow as the main color and then the blue as the contrast color. I think that would be super pretty too. Then I have gotten back to my Lee County Yarns advent calendar scarf that I bought as a gift for myself for Christmas or the holidays. And I'm finishing up the main chart or charts because it was in two sections or two charts. So this is the unicorn, and I love this scarf. I really enjoyed knitting on it. Right now, I am actually using my Leica needles that I have had for a while, and when I first got them, I used them for a little bit, and then I didn't use them for a while. Then I figured that I really enjoyed using them for ribbing because it's made out of driftwood and it feels pretty solid. And as I as you work with the needles more, it loses it has like a texture on the outside, or um it kind of feels like a petal texture or finish on it, which I enjoy my Knitter's Pride ones because it has like on the wood there's like a laminated finish on it to where it knits at a speed that I like. So as I keep knitting with these, I am enjoying them more, and it's it took me a while because you also notice the change in the needle itself because it changes to like a darker color. It could be with the knitting or like when you hold it in your hands. But it's nice because it is just about the circumference to do the scarf. And I really love this one. It is JC Rennie, and I I have been really enjoying using this yarn. So I just wanted to update my update you on my knitting needle case. I have more needles that I put in here. So this is from IK Leather Shop. It's a Ukrainian shop on Etsy, and I wanted something that was durable and lasting and that had space to fit a lot of my knitting supplies. So what I did, because I have my regular needles that I use, and then I have a lot of, hmm, like there are multiple of different sizes that I use. The cords are here, the connecting cord or connecting piece. Over here, I added the larger DPNs that I use for the size US 15, which is not uh, a size that you normally come across because it is not super common to, I haven't seen many knit with that size. And so I did get it when I went to there's the Maryland Festival last year, and there was a local farm that was selling their DPNs. So I got a set, the US 10 and US 15, because my DPN set goes to 9. And the US 15 is specifically for this sweater that's in the Lopi, the 42nd book, and I'm not sure uh, it's spelled out okay, sweater or jumper, and it is one that is just a plain sweater, which is nice to have them on bigger needles because I say this in many videos, I don't like just plain knitting, but when you knit at such a high um, needle size, it definitely makes the project go quickly. And the US 10, there are a couple of patterns that I do want to knit that are on the bulkier side, and I have one in mind that has a colorwork yoke that I've been wanting to knit up. So I am super happy with this. I do bring it to work every day. It's in my I have two bags that have my knitting, and then my bag that I carry that has other things that don't involve my knitting. I also wanted to show my yarn that I was thinking that I might want to do a third Maya cardigan with. I'm sorry, I have a tendency of just um, opening my phone up. So that's what that was. And so I have two Maya cardigans right now. I only use one of them. The first one, I love the colors that are in the cardigan. But as I knit more and more, I gravitate mainly towards the non-superwash wools and other fibers. I do enjoy alpaca. I enjoy the drape that it has, um, but it doesn't affect the, I would say, like the actual size of the garment. In my, in what I've been doing with it. Um, so the first Maya cardigan, I did use a superwash for the main color. I don't mind mixing and matching if it's like part of the colorwork portion, like in the yoke, because it kind of keeps the structure together. I like really structured, fitted type of garments. And when I use the superwash as the main color, it brought it to a shape and the size that I wasn't looking for with it. It is definitely wearable, of course. Um, I feel when I finish knitting something that I like when it's finished, then once I block it, that it doesn't change structure in that way that the superwash did. So I have other yarn, of course, and there's this one, but it's not going to be for the main color. This I got on sale at some point. I got, I would say, a lot of my yarn on sale. It's the Scalway worsted, and I really love this shade of gray, so that's one of the colors that I use. So I'll put it um, in the cardigan. But since it'll be St. Patrick's Day, I was thinking maybe I could start a third my cardigan, and then once the third one's finished, I would use just the second and third one, so I only have like two. And then I'll um, do something else with the other garments. So I have this um, It is the Fiber Co. And the band is here. I really love this one. It is technically a DK. I used it for my woven scarf, and I use it as like an accent color. So I don't mind mixing some of the weights up, but it's a blend of fine merino wool, cashmere, and silk. So I love the heathered tweed look. And I figured I could put this in the my cardigan and have it as the main color. I love this shade. So I'll talk about some decks that I've been using mainly for my readings. I have been enjoying reading, and it's been nice to use multiple decks because I do have quite a collection, and I will pass more on, but I really tried to curate it, and as the years have gone by, I have refined the collection, which is nice. So the main deck that I've been using is the Slavic Legends Tarot. I have the one that has the black borders, and I love it feels like a petal finish. That's what I call it. I have the box on display because I didn't want to ruin the integrity of the box if I kept opening it and closing it. So right now, this is from when I lived in New England. It is from Savers. One of my favorite Savers is in the southern part of Massachusetts, and I have these. I have a rosary in here because it housed another deck. This one has rosewood and it is from France. It's from my mom. So I keep it in here, and it has just, we have just jived so well together, this deck and I. And it has held up super well with how much I shuffle it. I am surprised about the shipping when I ordered directly from the company, and the shipping is like $5. It was so inexpensive, and I was actually surprised. I was like really happy about it. The deck comes from Poland, and it is a dream to work with. So I love that it has a spinning wheel here. To nobody's surprise, um, I've always loved the combination of yellow and blue. So I've had those combinations in my yarn stash for a while, but now I feel like I'm becoming more of an advocate. So the 3D printed bobbins are going to be in yellow and blue. So I'm really excited because since they are 3D printed, I knew that they were going to look like they weren't a part of the wheel. So I was like, well, maybe I'll just make it so it is an accent to the wheel. So I chose those colors, and I'll show that in another video. So I have the Tarot of Tales, the deck, and I really have been enjoying just like feeling the things out because I saw it in a bookstore and it felt right to me to get, because again, I really try to choose the ones that I feel like they speak to me and the type of um, connection that I have with the deck is something that is important to me, and um, how I read it and the way that I read is important, the art of reading. So I'm happy with this deck because it really does read as if you're reading a story. And when I look at the cards, I don't only think about stories, I think about songs and um, different moments. It is a deck that brings up thought. Um, like when you read a book, and certain points in the book, it just makes you react. It is a deck that has that effect, and it's exciting because these images, a lot of them are aren't of the traditional imagery. So it's nice to think outside the box and see things in the eyes of the creator. Some are they feel like they have more of an abstract style to it, even when the lines can be crisp. I guess maybe an abstract mindset or perception. And some of them, maybe you had to look at it and like you think like, what am I looking at? And I love the aspect of it having like a storytelling type of feeling, and in a way, um, It has a childlike but mature type of childlike perspective. Again, maybe like the imagery being more on the traditional side. I tend to like them like that. The tarot, I'm sorry, the power of the runes. And sorry, I keep going off to the side because I'm like, my mattress is very, like the memory foam. So it's not, I'm like kind of slipping off. And then um, sometimes if I stay sitting in that position for a while, it could be uncomfortable. So with this deck, the imagery I feel really links to the way that I interpret runes. And as a person that enjoys cards, it is really nice having the runes in card form. My main rune set is a set that's made out of petrified mangrove, and they are like rock solid. It was a bitch and a half to cut them. I actually used an electric handsaw, and that was still like trying to hold the piece of like the pieces of wood in place. And um there's like the cleaning process, and they are really cool. But these are really nice too to use. Another deck that spoke to me when I saw it, like when it was going to be released, it's the Pastoral Tarot, and it comes in this bag. There is the larger box too. And the setting and the lifestyle, um, just something that like about that those parts of the this deck were important to me. And I do notice when I see that a creator has multiple decks, I usually connect with one of them. So with Lisa Hunt's decks, she has a couple, and I do have one that I got from my Estonian friend. It is more of a collector's piece because it is interesting when I trade with her, because she has decks in her area. She can get decks that are difficult for me to get here. So that specific deck that had Lisa Hunt's artwork in it is amazing that I was able to receive that from her, as well as the other beautiful goodies that she included. I always feel bad when I trade with her because when she sends me something, she sends me like everything that you could, that I'm not even expecting. Like she sent me um, a soap, like self-care products. This it was called Estonica, and it's like oil that you use to moisturize too, and like a an herbal bundle, and just everything is just packaged so well, and it's always such a treat to receive something from her. But that one is, I do have a safe area where I keep those types of decks. So with the Pastoral Tarot, I do like to read this one frequently. And the main thing that I do when I put the deck back together, like if I pull out cards, I try to um, put them facing the same way. That's the only thing with it. I feel like as you work with the deck more, the cardstock becomes more delicious. I just love the finishing of it. I'm sorry, it's not really showing up. And I feel like with having it be landscape, because Lisa Hunt has so deep, like her paintings are so detailed that it really brings it to life. I feel like it was the best move for this, and in my opinion, I feel like this is the most readable because of that. I like how her imagery is so specific to her, I feel, because say, because I'm a 90s baby, so you'll probably notice that like with the type of music that I listen to, like the things that I like it kind of like shows that, and it feels like when you show off your personality and like the person that you are, it makes it better. So her style artwork, it just kind of it she just has a specific. I'm hoping that you could see the images on it on the cards. Um, it's just specific to her. Like when you see her artwork, like you know that it's hers. It has such a calm energy to it. And even with the box, it has like lavender on it. And me being the person that I am, I just like look at it. I'm like, I wonder what type of lavender you have there. Because when I was in college, of course you can get like, uh, so it's the genus and the species being the second part of the scientific name, and it's the lowercase part of the name. So in college, there was an emphasis on having the lavender, lavandula, angustifolia. And when you look at like things like essential oils, you'll get to see the type of lavender that is in there. So I really love that. And then, to no one's surprise, I have my Healing with the Fairies Oracle, which has been with me for a long time. It was gifted to me. So, um, this is a deck that I have used many times, and then there's other decks that I have had for a while that I'll be trading or selling. I'm thinking about it because, again, I will have to move the stuff, and I will get a storage unit so I can gradually move stuff out of the country. For those who haven't heard, I'm moving out of the country. So, and with me, I can't really go wrong with the fairy deck. I fucking love fairy decks. So special. I do have fairy wings, and I have a fairy tattoo. And for those who are curious, I do have writing above my fairy wings, and it's in Latin. It's like justice and equality. Okay, so thank you guys so much for watching. Surprisingly, it's not one of my longest videos. I'll see you in another video. Bye.